So, this is the town that I lived in Alaska. And I lived there in the summer of 2004. This is a hand-drawn map of the town that I've had hanging up and where I've lived above my bed since I moved from there. This is where I lived for the first month. This is the train station. I was employed by a gold miner named Randy, who had a bunch of gold teeth, ironically, and there was a bridge that was over another creek that's actually far. It's away from the town. It's in another town called Daniels Creek that was made out of really old wood, and it was a rotten bridge that wasn't functional anymore, and Randy took the wood from the bridge and made this building. And then, so I lived here, and I sold bus tickets for a bus that took tours from here up to Kennecott, which was the old mining town. And then this is the main town in McCarthy. This is the bar, is right here. That's where most of this stuff happened. Like right here is where my friend James lived. This is like the main road to the town, and this is all the glacier, and this is the river. And what else? So I lived there, and it was pretty magical because it was light all the time because I was there in June, and I was there for the solstice, and it was light all the time during the solstice. And oh man, what's a good McCarthy story? So I would ride a bike, and I would ride this road. It's a dirt road. It used to be a railroad. Kennecott was a mining town, and it was established as like a copper mining town. And so this is the main mill right here, and then there are mines up in the mountains. And my friend Lynn and I would hike up to the mines and then collect rocks. So we would go. The best one for cool colored rocks was Jumbo Mine, which is right here. So we'd hike up the mountain. We'd get up to Jumbo Mine, and at Jumbo Mine we would actually hike up from like the main mining encampments up to like these openings to these caves that they had dug, and at the openings to the caves there would be a bunch of copper ore, and it was like, we called it Emerald City because copper ore is like green, and there would just be like copper ore all over everything. It was just absolutely amazing. And so we'd go up there and we'd fill up our packs with rocks. Like we'd have these backpacking packs on, we'd fill them to the brim with rocks, and I would get like bruises on my back from carrying all these rocks down the mountains. And so I still have my rock collection. And then I would ride my bike up this road, and I would ride it down, and it was hellishly bumpy, but it was really steep hill, so you'd get going really fast, and then you'd hit these little footbridges because you couldn't actually drive. The town was really secluded. Like the population was like 40 people, and during the summer the people that lived there, like who worked there like I did, was like 200. And so it's super secluded, and you can't actually like drive your car across the Kennecott River. So like the people that live there, when the river freezes over in the winter, they bring their cars over, and so they're like these footbridges. And so I'd be riding my bike down the footbridge, and I would hit the footbridge, and then it would go from this really rocky road, and it would just be like perfectly smooth for like 20 seconds, and then it'd be really rocky again. And like everything there was sort of like beautiful and magic in this way, and I was like really sensitive to how beautiful and magic everything was, like how smooth the footbridge was. And I think the thing that was really amazing about Alaska was I'd been kind of unhappy for a while. Like I'd had a really stressful experience in high school that was kind of depressing, and like and I was so happy when I was there. It sort of I was more happy, like I was more happy than I thought I could be happy. Like I didn't know I could be that happy. And other places on the map. So there's a mountain over here This is Donahoe, is like right here. And so Lynn was my good friend there. We started out in Kennecott and we hiked down to the glacier and then we crossed the glacier and then actually we came up here are these two lakes. I mean this map isn't drawn to scale or anything. But you cross the glacier and then you come up this steep path and you'd follow this waterfall and then it became a river up to these lakes and then go up Donahoe. And then I hiked up to Erie Mine and Jumbo Mine and Bonanza Mine. And those were beautiful places. Another place I would like to go is I would just go on walks up the glacial moraine. And so when I lived here, the job really sucked because I just sort of like was there all the time and it just sucked because I sat behind a desk. But I would walk up the glacial moraine and it took me about like 3 minutes of walking until I couldn't see any signs of human life. I just like got behind some trees here and I couldn't see any signs of human life and I would walk up the moraine and sit and think and it was beautiful because I'd be sort of like on this like really rocky glacial moraine and it would be the ice fall and all the mountains around me. And to give a point of reference, McCarthy is in Wrangell St. Elias National Park, which is the largest national park in the United States. So it's in the middle of nowhere. It's 60 miles of dirt road to get there, and that's sort of a magical place. And so here's the Potato, and this is the museum. This is like an outhouse. It's like the only public bathroom in McCarthy. There aren't any public trash cans because everyone has to carry out the trash. This is the airfield. This is the post office. There isn't really a post office, but a Bush plane brings mail in twice a week, and people have mailboxes at the airport, which is a gravel strip. And then on Wednesday nights was soccer and Thursday nights was frisbee. So people would play sports on the gravel strip because it was like the only flat place. And then like over around here, no, it was like more like around here and here at the toe of the glacier. There were really big parties that we would have at the toe of the glacier. And like, what's his face? I think Malcolm would bring his truck and play music and we would like burn wood. They were restoring the mines. They were like become a National Historic Landmark, so they were like restoring all the mines and everything. So from these old buildings, there was all this 100-year-old Douglas fir, and at Sarah's birthday party, we had big bonfires of all the rotten wood that they'd been tearing out of these buildings, but like was like a historic rotten wood. So that was really fun. And then this is up this road, this is where my friend James lived, and then up this mountain, like in here, is where he's buried. And then across this bridge is where a lot of people live. And see, it's two logs together on the map. It's two logs together in real life, and people drive their Jeeps across it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so this map is something that I love. I love this map because I love the experience that I had in Alaska. So I kind of struggle with whether or not I want to go back to Alaska because it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. But the other thing about it was that it was kind of a fucked up place. Like everyone was an alcoholic, and it was mostly men. And I was like young and 18, kind of naive, so I had a problem with a lot of these men sort of like being really inappropriate with me, and so good story about that is my friend James, who was like a really nice person, but also like had a lot of problems. And he was an alcoholic, and he was like 45, and I was 18, and I had just graduated high school. And he would hit on me all the time, constantly, just hit on me. And like, I would go over to his house by myself because I was young and naive and kind of stupid. And then he would like just go on about how beautiful I was, and I wish I was older, and blah, blah, blah. And it was just constant. And he drank an incredible amount. I think the only time I ever saw him drink liquid that didn't have alcohol in it was when he drank water. And even then I was suspect. Like I remember I would go over there and he would like make us tea and put bourbon in it. And but we would also have like really fun times. Like we would listen to a lot of Bob Dylan, and I gave him a haircut one time. I gave him kind of a bad haircut. And he wanted to be more classy, so we planned a cocktail party together because he didn't feel like there was any classy stuff going on in the town of McCarthy, Alaska. So we planned a cocktail party, which was really fun. And then the summer after I left, the summer that I wasn't there anymore, so it would have been the summer of 2005, he killed himself. And I guess what he did, I heard about it, he shot himself at Tony Zach's on the 4th of July. And that's a really big deal because one, Tony Zach is this guy who lived there and he died. And then he dedicated his house to McCarthy. He gave it to the town. And so they have like Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner. They have like and they had like a fundraiser to plow the roads at Tony Zach's. So it's like this community center and there's a library. So he killed himself at Tony Zach's. And he also did it on the 4th of July, which is like the biggest holiday that happens in McCarthy ever. Like it's huge. There's a huge parade and a huge party. So he went to the parade and the party and got really drunk and then pulled off to the side of the road on his way home. So like Tony Zach's is like here and the party was down here, and then he was going home and he pulled off and shot himself. And so I actually think Tony Zach's has a number. Does it? Maybe not. But so like that's really sad and tragic because I think a lot of people in that town are half crazy and on the verge of killing themselves and definitely have drinking problems. But then what they did is he owned land going all the way up the mountain, and it's actually this beautiful place that I actually hiked to one time with my friend James, and it's like in between two mountains. It's in between Porphyry and Bonanza, and it's like this green field in the like saddle. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's a saddle between these two mountains, and it's like this really beautiful green place, and you can see the next valley too, and the next valley is gorgeous. And so the people from the town carried his body up there and buried him in the saddle, and then the funeral was everyone just talking about their experiences with him on top of this mountain, just talking about their experiences with him and their memories. And like that's sort of what McCarthy is sort of like this unbelievably like intense place that's like unreal, but like also like incredibly real and really sort of like fucked up and sad, but then like really beautiful too. And so I sort of have conflicting feelings about it. Yep, and I love it. Okay.